Here we are with Dock Blockers versus Druz Lite, and let's see what they have in store for us. This looked like Land Madness to me. Was the game one they played. I'm not sure who picked it as home map, so we'll have to have someone notify us about that. But Land Madness, exactly as it sounds like, huge open map, limited board to start. So a little bit, just one boar, but some extra patches of hunt to be taken. So you have food access, you have extra berries as well. These berries seem bugged actually, don't they? No, never mind. So, Druz here as the tag suggests, and then the other team being Dock Blockers. I was notified these were supposed to be entertaining or non-meta games, so let's see how that turns out for us. Let's just introduce the players of both teams while they're doing their Dark Age build-ups here. We have Rabbe as the Maggar's Pocketeer, seen as Pocket Civ on Land Madness multiple times. They have all the mobility going for them, Scouts for the Feudal Age, Knights in the Cast Age, and Cavarches as well in the Cast Age could be applicable, and Paladins even as well. We'll have to have a look at Cheap's side right here as well. He's with the Turks. He played that for their last Land Madness as well and played those quite nicely. In that game he went for a lame, I believe, but this time around he's playing it nice for now, unless his plan is to go forward right now and find some delicious boar food from Ninja Salsa up here, but I don't think that's the case. The boar is quite forward for Ninja Salsa though, so I wouldn't rule out Cheap to go snag one boar off the enemy here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have a look at the orange dot over there. But Cheap with the Turks, Turks with Scouts, or Scouts with extra Pierce Armor. Scouts line into the all the way until the Hussar, starting immediately. So they will be stronger against enemy archers. And finally, last player for Druz Lite on the left side flank is Palm with the Celts. So are we going to see Huang-style Celts play here? Ooh, Lithuanians instant rush at work. I need to follow the action here. It's also something that Palm hasn't, Cheap hasn't scouted just yet. Lithuanians, they can, with their starting 150 food, drop a barracks right away and go for the instant rush, as it's called, as it sounds like. They are picking up one, not just one, but two villagers of Cheap here, because Cheap, obviously, at minute 450, doesn't prioritize Loom. And this is a good call for Land Madness, because it's such an open map. You can't wall in your base, fully wall your base. You can't easily wall the woodlands either, because you can't build on this gray terrain. Two villagers dead for Cheap here, falling severely behind early on. That's going to obstruct his scout opening, if that was the plan at all here. Ninja Salsa now moving forwards to... Well, he did lose his scout, so he's probably using his militia to scout the rest of the opponents now. So might be trying to look for some damage on the pocket as well. Actually, Rabbe doesn't have Loom yet either, and these are very exposed. Yeah, he could have pre-walled the woodline or quick-walled easily, but when the militia kick in at minute 4, you do get caught off guard quite a bit as well. Origami here on the left-hand side snagging some geese here, and so is Ninja Salsa, so the food situation is less than optimal for Druz Lite here. But to get back to the players, Palm here with Celts on the flank. I wonder if he has some Huanging in his mind here. Could be. This looks like a Drush to me. He's dropping the barracks at... No, sorry, Man-at-Arms to me. He's dropping the barracks at 20 pop. And we'll be playing into the Celts faster moving infantry here. They got nerfed, they're not faster in the Feudal Age anymore, but that's not to say you can't go into the Man-at-Arms that will be faster. Ninjas also doing great work with the instant rush, as mentioned, did kill off some villagers of Cheap. The instant rush comes at a cost though. You will need to go into Loom earlier, usually, to facilitate the forward micro that it requires with the militia. Let's see if Rabbe has Loom. He has Loom now, so I don't think the militia will do more than a simple annoyance here. And the village counts now actually even for Jeep and Ninja Salsa, both in the Dark Age. So that instant rush, it takes its toll on your production, and the micromanagement also takes away attention from what you need to attend to in the Dark Age at home. Brenda going to reach the fuel age first here though, well on the way with the Bulgarians from the pocket. So I haven't introduced the other time. Bulgarians pocket has access to crab boss from map control, Konik as the unique unit, and Origami with the Teutons flank here, probably thinking about the scouts play with Teutons as well. Or not, because we have like 10 villagers going forward on Palm here. So Palm is going to have his hands full in just a moment here, with Origami going forward for what has to be a Teuton. I think it's a Teuton douche! Deletes the TC! Alright, I haven't seen this in a while. So Teutons is one of the other cities in addition to Persians that could actually pull off Durt, as it's called, deleting the TC and rebuilding it in your enemy base. Because they can garrison more units inside the town center and get some extra damage output. So you send 10 builders forward, you preferably garrison all of them, and you start firing away at the enemy TC. And this is going to obstruct Palm's progression here, but he did make his militia soon to be men-at-arms. He doesn't stress out what's going on at home. We see the preemptive walls here from Origami already on the berries as well, but let's see if these snowmen-at-arms can actually break through and do some serious damage here. Palm is indeed going to lose his TC here. I'm not sure what he will be up to moving onwards. But the pockets, on the other hand, seem to be off to some pretty standard playing here. Scouts from the pocket to assist either side of the flanks. Palm goes straight for the wood line here. I think he's actually making a potentially a wrong call here to obstruct the woodland. Sure, it's going to potentially stop Origami from dropping another town center, but if you go hit the berries, which are, by the way, exposed, then Origami will not be able to produce villagers, and for every villager they lose, then they they simply lose food access. Here we see Palm going for the food after all, and no reaction from Origami here, probably not realizing 2 villagers are outside. Palm's TC is down, is officially TC less here still, has 24 villagers to go though, and Origami says thank you very much, I'll just take your hunt here and get some food in my bank here. Brenda is here with the scouts as well to further assist the TC drop forward, and I think actually another TC could be dropped here to take Palm off both golds and a woodline here. Origami's economy is taking a serious hit here though on the berries. Once the men-at-arms go through, it's not lack of wood here to repair, but it's not really reacting here, so I think the snowman will break in here and kill at least another few builds. Oh, that wasn't actually a point of entry, so that explains why Origami doesn't go for the repairs. Look at the village count, so it's dead even among the players here. Palm has rebuilt the TC, but his own all as well is going to be redouched here by Origami, using that another 100 stone to get the next forward town center up. 14 villagers forward now for Origami. Did complete more villagers forward. Let's see what's going on the other side. Cheap with the scouts forward, mirrored by Ninja Salsa, also going for scouts with the Lithuanians here. So I think Palm is going to lose another TC. He needs to mine stone now, otherwise he won't be able to build... Well, he will be able to build another one, but now he's going to flee to his dear friend Rabba over here and maybe find a woodline to settle down close to or something. Some players on the other side, scouts running into scouts here. Cheap with the superior numbers here. And another TC obviously going down for Palm, is not stressing it, is at 21 villagers and losing more here. He is essentially being defeated here. upside for Druz Lite here, though, is leaving Rabbe with more or less a free boom here. He's going to... He seems to be committing to a mass of Fuel Age scouts here, but he's not really subject to huge damage at home either. He probably got hit a little bit by Brenda, will be hit again. But all in all, these very all-in plays from both Origami and Ninja Salsa could be hurtful in the long run here, especially in terms of progression through the ages. Still stuck in Dark Age, you know, and hence also military production. We won't be seeing Origami providing any Teuton scouts or knights onto the field for a while here. Palm is down to 16 villagers though, and he's desperately rebooming near this gold spot here. Brenda won't have it happening. Has to pull away though with all these very weak scouts looking for damage where damage can be done. Cheap is also going for the extended fuel age here, going for numbers over Ninja Salsa here, and makes sense for Lad Manus to go for the extended fuel age when you can, because there's lots of damage to be done when the players can't properly wall. Origami is sitting at 28 villagers for the time being, but is now at risk of losing the villagers on the woodland, and there's nothing here to save him. The scouts of Brenda will have to come this way, and Palm with the eco he had at hand has also gotten some archers out, so quick walls won't even, or walling, repairing behind won't even be a possibility here for Origami in the end. There shouldn't be any escape for these 8 villagers, and then suddenly Origami will be down to 20. They are taking Palm's old resources here though, and establishing some economy around where Palm's home base used to be. Rabbe with the Magyar scouts now, he has forging, so he has stronger scouts than Ninja Salsa here. Numbers for Rabbe as well, he's bringing in spears too, so he's going to... I think he is on steady course towards the pocket here, but we'll see where he ends up going. He feels that the danger is averted back home, and Brenda with 5 military, but nowhere near Rabbe's base. And Palm is being sent some tribute to... to be able to build a lumber camp after having gone for some farms for food eco on the newly acquired TC location. Origami with the double ranges now, suddenly looking more like standard flanks play here from from Origami, but it's been far from standard. And we'll be sending out some masked archers to deal with these 2 gold miners of Palm, if Origami is even seeing those. Not really. What happened to the food line though? It got completely wiped out, and as suspected, Origami is left to 23 villagers and almost at the level of Palm now, actually. Brenda on the way to the cast stage. That's good news for the Bulgarians' pocket. He has to attend to Rabbe's scouts in their economy though, and Rabbe, why aren't you sniping farms? These are up for grabs here. Or maybe not, maybe it's a spec bug. Yeah, I totally expected towers from the Teuton's player as well, Moin, with but then I saw he wasn't on stone, so they had to be the Teuton douche. Mainly skirmishers here for Origami, only floating wood and food here, so that's basically their only option. That's something that Rabbe could easily punish with, even with Magyar scouts here. Rabbe getting some value from the forward scouts here now. Look at the villager counts. If we exclude Palm from the equation here, Rabbe and Cheap are with a solid villager. I think Drushina are almost in a villager lead now after everything that's been happening around here. Brenda with some Bulgarian scouts in Cheap space now, but Cheap could just use the mass villagers to clean up those and then wall off this little section to avert the crisis and keep the numbers down. 3 military only for Brenda now, unfortunately, and Palms forward makes it tough for Brenda to stabilize here and get to the proper army production here. Cast stage just kicked in though, we should be seeing double stable, nice production here. But now Palm is forward with men-at-arms and spears. Palm is technically also playing pocket here now by his relocation, stealing some of Rabbe's gold here, and yet again subject to attack on his woodline here. I can't help but feel like that Origami or Ninja Salsa should have gone for some towers forward as well, looking at this. Because this whole woodline, if you put up a tower somewhere around here or similar places, maybe on cheap side as well, to have a tower in the economy here, could be tough to deal with the extended feudal age. But cheap also right around the corner of Castle Age now, stabilizing nicely here, and will likely be going into Turk's camels now. Let's see what he goes for here. Could be light cav as well. Defensive castle near the gold, good call as well. And Rabbe fighting off Origami's trash with villagers here and some knights to come in to finish it off as well. Teuton's knights have extra melee armor starting in the Castle Age, so even the spearmen here aren't that much of a threat. Bulgarian's knights only with +1 attack though, and Palm with the archers and spearmen now forward to punish the pocket here. Cheap did some damage or some annoyment to Ninja Salsa earlier on as well, so it's the green pocket here that's has been under the least pressure so far. Down goes Ninja Salsa Scout. He's offering them to Cheap's TC and camels here, and Druz Lite, aside from Palm's never increasing villager count here, are looking at a good and healthy eco setup for the longer game here now. From the looks of it, Origami with the army investment will still be staying in feudal age for a long time. No gold, no stone. Brenda with 860 stone though, could be thinking about the Prepos rushing here maybe, accompanied by knights. That could be a play, and also the Bulgarian TCs are cheaper. We didn't see land madness yet in Division 4, I don't know how familiar the players are with the map. It was played in 4th Division last year, and there were some fun games actually, so some of the teams should certainly be familiar with it. But I think it's more of a... And by the way, Moin, Cunning Linguists, they played versus Raiding Party on Land Madness, I believe. And it was not a pleasant experience for Cunning Linguist. I think that was the teams. I've seen it. I think I've seen it once. Palm with the forward rusher. Palm in the Castle Age now, miraculously. I have to look into the sling later, but maybe made a way to stabilize and tweak the eco somehow. Celts, archery ranges here, because why not? And a... let's call it a forward siege workshop, since Origami's base is in fact here now. Camels on the move for cheap on the other side here, and he is with 9 military total by now. Still got that extra pierce armor, doesn't really apply against Lithuanians though. And I think Paul has forgotten about this army up here, doesn't really use it for any annoying purposes for now. Rabbe on the move with the Magyar's Knights in Brenda's eco. Is there a hole here? Is that an overdrop? It's not really. There are some spears situated here, but that's not really going to provide too much here. This knight should be dead meat, but we have a flare in the south as well, with quite a few Bulgarian knights on the other side here, together with ninjas also. So this could be dangerous for Rabbe's eco. So who gets the better end of the deal here? Rabbe, he knows as well that Brenda is probably paying attention forward, so maybe this is the time to break in to this woodland and take out 10 villagers from Brenda over here. The aggression at home needs to be dealt with though. Palm, if he had dropped some well, a barracks here instead of ranges, maybe he could be useful with some pikes for defense here. But he's of course going to reclaim his old base here. That's why he's adding siege and ranges for skirmishers against Origami's mass Teuton spears here. Ninja's also again going to try and keep Palm out of the game here. They're really scared of Palm here. He's still at 25 villagers, but contributing. He has 9 military and healthy 34 population going for him here. But finally, Ninjas also breaks through, and goodbye to Palm's wood line. He's again officially off wood. Not looking too bright here. 22 villagers. Obviously, one TC for Palm is bringing his trash back to do who knows what. Rabbe is sustaining his forward on in the opposing pocket here and doing good work at that. And Cheap seems to be mainly stabilizing eco and booming here. He does have army on the field as well though, and I can't quite point out where they are at. Right, he went for the Janissaries here and is obviously going to deal with the pikes and knights. Consider bureaucracy, if he can catch up, that is. So he has his army over here now. He's going to be working together with Palm to push Origami back into Oblivion here. Origami somehow made it to Cast Age and is at a whooping 70 pop now, so the collective population of Dockbuckers now isn't too far off that of Druz Lite here after all. Janissaries should be dealing with these spikes no problem, and knights aren't much of an issue either. Here comes Rabbe with fully upgraded knights against +1/+1 knights, so even with inferior numbers here, Rabbe should be winning this one. Group of knights still forward as well, so army production number looking healthy for Rabbe now. 35 military total. Overall military count for both teams not that far apart, but generally speaking, pockets armies are the most valuable here with the knights, and Rabbe is certainly looking at some serious numbers here right now. He has 20 knights now, so he could even start contesting TCs considering that he has the +2 armor and the full attack. Origami with elite skirmishers and pikes here now. Elite skirms actually counter Janissaries to some extent, and Cheap doesn't seem to be paying attention right now. He's running into Ninja Salsa's army. Wasn't patrolling here, but he cleans them up, no problem. Ninjas also with 26 military. There are relics on the map, but they haven't exactly been a priority here to say the least. Look at the economy though, at the villager count here. 81 for Cheap, 82 for Rabbe. Miles ahead of any of the other opposing players here. Chief going for the forward cast now. He has almost 30 Janissaries to back that. Ninja's also in return going for the second defense for the Knights. No relics bonus for Lithuanians so far though. No relics collected by any players. But this castle will for sure reach this woodline. It might reach the TC, but in however you look at it, this hill is a nice point to fall back to for Cheap's army investment here anyway. He hasn't really gone into the camels, he's gone mainly for Janissaries here, but with the castle to back them up, he could still be doing some serious damage here. Pikes shouldn't be a problem whatsoever for the Janissaries here, but of course the armies of ninjas also is here to try their best to deny the castle. Garrison inside the castle, next level move for Cheap there to move all of the units just like that and kill off even more of Ninja Salsa's numbers. Looking at 14 military for Ninja Salsa now. Palm restabilizing a bit again, and they still have to attend to Origami's numbers here, but now we have some Celts, Scorpions, faster firing siege in the mix here, and that's a good call against this mix of of skirmishers and pikes here. Crossbows even helping out. And TC fire from Rabbe going to clean up the rest of it here. This is a cleanup, I think, and now Rigavi is left with almost zero army again. Another TC for cheap is going into full Maniac Boom mode here, is really wants to set up that economy for the late game play of Imperial Age here. Might be thinking about those elite Janissaries. Is actually killing a town center now with Janissaries because the town center has 6 range, Janissaries have 8, and they have pretty darn high damage output here, so don't be fooled by how they look. They can actually take out buildings with ease, these boys in appropriate numbers. 1 TC down for Ninja Salsa here. Ninja Salsa doesn't have the army required with enough Lithuanian Knights could still put up a fight here, but Imp is in for cheap, and that's the end of it for Dockblockers here. Is going to be 1-0 for Druz Lite, and what a crazy land madness game. Indeed. Toot and Douche on one side, Lithuanians instant rush on the other side, probably hoping to buy lots of time for Brenda to boom and stabilize. I think actually if Brenda had pulled off a fast castle of this one, which certainly was an option given the early aggression, then it could be looking slightly different for Dockblockers here. But it's hard to predict when it's in situations like that. Land Madness is a madness map indeed. Let's have a look at the stats here. $89, $59 for Robert. Some great raids there with the Magyar's Knights forward. Cleaning up at home as well, and yeah, did some good job with the feudal investment in the scouts, and later on with the finally massed up knights in the Castle Age to set back Brenda quite a bit, lacking upgrades on their knights, I believe. Let's see if Brenda has some knights somewhere here. Yeah, still lacking some upgrades there for the knights, which certainly was hurtful in engagements against Rabbe in somewhat similar numbers. Cheap with the massivest boom though, and the only player reaching Imperial Age with a significant chunk. I think this was almost Janissaries exclusively, taking out TC with Janissaries and the Villager High. Even Palm with the Villager High with 42 in the end here, taking the Villager and Eco lead for Druz Lite as well.